What's up everybody, I'm Adam and you're watching the Model Aviator channel. We did an episode a while back called Remote ID Killers. Now that episode was a little bit about our take on remote ID. It was a little bit about the UMX series of airplanes from E-flite, how they're all remote ID exempt, how great they fly and stuff like that. But it was mostly about how to get great deals on older ultramicro planes in the used model market. A lot of people aren't aware of how much is available and how easy it is to find some of these airplanes in perfect working order and what smoking deals you can get. Smoking deals like the deal we got on this airplane. This is from the Parkzone OG Ultramicro series. This is the de Havilland Mosquito. And this airplane predates a lot of the things that we see today. Back when this airplane was introduced, which I think was either late 2010, early 2011, so over a decade ago, ultramicro airplanes, most of them had brushed motors with a simple gear system. There was a little pinion gear on the motor and a single larger gear on the prop. So very simple. They were powered by one cell LiPo packs, and they didn't have tons and tons of power. AS3X had not been invented yet, so there was no stabilization in airplanes like this. There was a more advanced series that was in its infancy at the time, and that is the UMX series that we know today. But at the time of the Mosquito, there weren't many of those. That was reserved at the time for airplanes that were powered by two-cell LiPos and had brushless motors with direct propeller connection. So, and for those of you that don't know what UMX stands for, it stands for
Ultra Micro Extreme.
that, and I'm going to need a minute. So anyway, a lot of good information in the Remote ID Killers video and a couple of flight demos of some of our other used ultramicro acquisitions. We'll put a link in the description and at the end of the video. Check that one out if you haven't seen it. As far as this one is concerned, I have wanted one of these Parkzone ultramicro Mosquitoes for quite some time. I'm a big fan of British World War I and World War II aviation, and Mosquito is one of the prettiest airplanes, one of the more interesting airplanes ever made, to be quite honest. And what made me want one of these so much is watching Gina and Alan Purcell's channel. They have a YouTube channel called Purcell RC Aviation. We'll put a link in the description where you can check their channel out. They have a great little homestead in England. They have their own flying field right there on their property, and they have one of the neatest collections of used Parkzone and E-flite ultramicros, including one of these Mosquitoes. And watching Gina's passion for flying hers is what made me want one. So check their channel out, and Gina, it's all your fault. This is your fault. So anyway, this is a very simple airplane, under-cambered airfoil, nothing too complicated, as we told you before. Brushed motors with a gear system and a one-cell pack. You have a removable little gun hatch for your 200 milliamp E-flite pack. 4-channel elevator rudder with a steerable tail wheel, ailerons, and of course throttle control. And you can remove the main gear very easily. You just squeeze and pull, and you can hand launch it if you would like. Now, when I first flew this airplane, I flew it on this pack, and I found it to be tail heavy, a little bit of a pill to fly. Didn't really enjoy it, so I found some 550 milliamp packs on Amazon with some adapters that worked with it, and that squared away the balance, add a little bit of expo, and since there's no stabilization, the setup is a bit more critical. So our setup is simple. We bound it to our NX7E Plus. We've got 20% expo on the ailerons, 30% expo on elevator and rudder, and we have cut the rates are at 100%, but we've cut the servo travel down to about 93% on all the servos, with these old linear servos. Not allowing them to go too far to one end to the other keeps you from blocking those up, so that's why we did that. And of course we get plenty of throw to do what the airplane's capable of doing anyway. And we just thought, since it's special to us, you might find it interesting to see this little jewel fly. So that's what this is all about. You are going to see a gear on and gear off flight Hope you enjoy that as much as we enjoy flying it for you. If you need anything from our affiliates, we'll put the links in the description. When you go through those, it helps support our channel. When you do that, we appreciate it. Enjoy the Mosquito. We'll see you next week with something cool with wings. One interesting characteristic I found was that I couldn't get a smooth, slow roll out of this one. I could start the roll nice and smooth, but it would fall through and finish the last half of the roll at its own speed. It might be the undercambered wing, could be something else about the airplane. It doesn't bother me, but I just thought it was interesting. It's actually a really good flying little plane, and it's fun to fly. But you can definitely tell a difference in this and the newer generation of stabilized ultramicros. I could feel that undercambered wing's not crazy about inverted flight, but you can force it and it will do it. Another thing that's hard not to notice is the difference in power in this generation of Ultramicro versus the brushless 3 and 4S powered ones we have today. As with any model that has removable gear, once you take that bit of weight and drag off the airframe, performance does increase a bit. It's still not a powerhouse, but I do prefer it without the gear. Just looks cooler going through the air as well. It definitely handles inverted flight better with the gear off, but it's still a little bit unstable compared to what we're used to today. even at this size on one cell, a twin still sounds cooler than a single. All in all, this is a rare and unique piece that we're glad to have in our hangar. Take care, happy flying, we'll see you next week.